Hello people, just a brief video to demonstrate and talk about my latest guitar purchase. The recently released Squier Classic Vibe series of the Jaguar in shell pink. Rather strikingly attractive, I think you'd agree, but also quite subtle, which I like. So it's not in your face as a colour, but yeah, I really am drawn to the look of this thing. So obviously, we know 80% of our gear purchases are basically based on on how it looks. So that's important. Immediately, the first thing that strikes me about this guitar is the quality. It definitely feels very well put together. A few of the uh, details regarding like the specifications are quite new to me, such as the frets are quite tall. I've heard this mentioned a few times by people. If you can see roughly, I don't know if that's in focus or not, but the strings are quite. The action's alright, but the frets are quite high. So I'll give you a quick example of what that means for playing. So that's on the strangle mode is on. Let's go neck pickup. I'll run through these in a little bit, but yeah, basically tall frets means that if you press the strings hard, you can actually go out of tune. So yeah, that's going to take some getting used to, I think. It definitely favours a lighter touch, but that's mostly on the thicker strings. So the lighter end of the strings don't you don't get that too much. Virtually no difference there. So yeah, something to bear in mind. I had heard about the neck angle on these guitars. I think they are meant to be slightly shimmed. I think something about the angle of the action being higher at the end. But that's something else I will get around to looking at eventually. But at the moment, I'm not getting I'm not noticing anything too extreme there. So I'm happy with the neck angle for the time being. The bridge is, I believe, one of their newer, or at least more recent designs, or I think it's styled on the vintage style with these barrel kind of shaped saddles. But yeah, the quality is okay on these. I'm not getting as much buzz from the bridge as I would normally expect to find on these style. I have a different. I think this is from a Fender Jaguar, a Japanese Fender Jaguar. I don't know if you can see there. The saddles, it's probably out of focus. The saddles are kind of notched, but more of a kind of traditional sort of style saddle you'd expect to see on like a telly or something. But yeah, these basically mean that the string only has one slot to sit in, and there isn't a lot of movement there, or at least there aren't on the first 5 or the lower 5 saddles. The first one does move a bit, as you can see. I've only got to move the string, and the saddle goes with it. So a couple of things I want to add on this guitar at some point. The trem I'm not probably going to use very much, so I'm thinking of possibly blocking that off using an aftermarket plate, maybe to replace the trem system. But I'm not sure about that, we'll see. But I have definitely got this to go on, which is a buzz stop. And these are meant for Jaguars, Jazzmaster, and I believe they also fit the Bass 6 as well, which I have one of those at the moment in bits. That's a project, but that's going to go on. I've got two of these. That's one going to go on the Bass 6, and this is going to go on here. So that just two screws there bolt onto there, and basically increases the tension and the brake angle over the bridge, and that is supposed to eliminate a good deal of buzz, hence the name. So that's going on, which I'm hoping also will fix the issue with the saddle moving. The pickups sound really good. I don't know if you heard much there when I was playing before. I will wire the microphone up to the amp properly in a minute and give you a run through of some of the sounds. But the actual sound of the pickups, I'm happy with. I was considering changing them out. I was thinking that was going to be something I was going to have to do at some point with this guitar, being a Squier. But yeah, so far very happy. Pickups sound great. The switching system is complex. I don't really know what they were thinking in the 60s or 70s whenever they made these. I can't remember when they brought them out. It might have been earlier than that, actually, 50s even. But yeah, it's a very complicated. It's a famously complicated system. So you've got these controls down here. This one is for the neck pickup on and off. So that's off at the bottom. Push up to turn it on. That is for the bridge pickup. Again, that's on, that's off. And then I believe this is a strangle switch. So again, I will sample that later on, but it essentially, it affects the tone in a weird way. So it kind of takes the high end off, I think, a little bit. So with it off, you get this. It's out of tune already. That's me playing about. But just to give you an idea of the strangle switch. The wrong one. Not sure if it's a frequency thing or a volume thing. It sounds a little bit more like a volume, like it's raising the volume a little bit, ever so slightly. So, but it's very subtle, to be honest. I'm not sure how useful I'll find that, but the pickups themselves, I'm very happy with. This whole control up here is a very, very difficult thing to wrap my head around for me, because it basically cuts in. Like it's got its own setup. I believe I might think it's for both pickups, this one. So with both of the pickups off there, you can hear what this is doing. So that's bypassing these two controls in this position. Flick it on. So you got a tone and a volume. So yeah, you can. It's kind of between this pickup. It's kind of between this pickup and these pickups both on together. Kind of slots itself between the two tonally. So it's almost like having a three-way pickup switch, but divided between two down here and one up here, and with its own volume and tone controls, which is curious. But it's also interesting to be able to have a setup for if you wanted two sounds from your guitar for a chorus and then again for a solo. You could use this quite easily to set up a different sound for each, and then just flick of a switch, you're into the other one, you're into the other sound. So yeah, not conventional, but useful. I think that's pretty much it for the time being. as far as build quality and stuff is concerned. The other thing to mention was that I was going to talk about was the fretboard itself, the material. I forget what it is called, but it's not obviously not rosewood, and I find it a little bit scratchy. So just moving the strings that way, just to feel it's, I don't know, it's kind of a odd material to kind of get used to. It doesn't feel very easy to bend the strings against, or it's not easy. It is easy, but it's not necessarily, I don't know, pleasant. It's not, I don't know. I think it's just I'm not used to it. Maybe that's what it is. I need to get used to it. But yeah, looks wise, come on, it's amazing. And one of the other things I've got for it, oh, it's the back, by the way. I didn't show the back before. Very nice. One of the other things I've got coming for it is a replacement pickguard. So the tortoise shell is out of here, and it's being replaced with a vintage white. So it's not quite in your face white pickguard, but yeah, the vintage white I thought might look very nice on it. So yeah, happy with that. I will do another video, I think, of this guitar once I have done various mods and upgrades to it, and then I'll give a second opinion of what it's been like to live with, to play a little bit more long term, and how the mods will have affected the guitar as well. So yeah, look out for that. That'll probably be in another month or two. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to plug in the microphone and give a little run through of some of the sounds for you. So that's coming up now. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this was useful in some small way. Look out again, as I say, for my upcoming second part of this rundown or review. And any questions, please feel free to ask. Take care. Bye.